Hey there, everybody, this is Sean from the Dukes of Dice, and today I'm going to be giving you my first impressions of Fuji Flush. It's a little card game designed by Friedemann Friese. It's published by Stronghold Games, and basically you're trying to be the first player to get rid of all the cards in your hand. So let's go to the table. I'll set it up for 4 players, and then afterwards I'll give you my first impressions. Alright, so I've got Fuji Flush set up for a 4-player game. The object is to be the first player to get rid of your entire hand of cards. Everyone gets dealt out 6 cards from the deck, and the cards range from 1 to 20. There's a bunch of 2s, but there's only 120, and it kind of scales based on that. I've got this hand face up, just that's us, and we'll kind of go through and see how to play. So let's say we go first. What we're going to do is we're going to pick any card. Let's say we play the 3 in front of us. All right, so we've got a 3. This player now can play any card that they want. It doesn't have to be higher necessarily. Let's say that they play a 2. So in this situation, the 2 is not higher than the 3, so nothing really happens here. Had this card been higher, let's say they played a 6 instead, whenever there's a higher card out, it's going to flush any previous played card that is lower. So this would get discarded, and I would have to draw a new card. But instead, my 3 is fine because they played a 2. Now, the next player goes through their hand, and they say, you know what, I'm going to play a 2 as well. So here's what happens now. When you have 2 cards that are the same, they add together. They basically become a 4. So this 4 now flushes this previous card. This goes away, and I redraw. All right, so how am I going to actually get rid of cards? Well, the trick here is that it needs to come back to your turn. When it's your turn, if you have a card in play, you get to push it in. So let's see if we can make that happen for someone. So this player says, oh, you know what? I've got a 2 as well. So now this 4 is a 6. So this all counts as a 6. So I can do one of 2 different things now on my turn. I can join in and say, sure, now we all have an 8. When it comes to this player's turn, because this player is starting their turn with a card in play, it gets pushed in instead of flushed. When a card gets pushed in, you're not going to redraw back up. The trick is that every other player with a matching card is going to get to also push in. So maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I don't want to join that 2 party. Instead, I'm going to say, you know what? Your 6, I'm going to flush all of them. My 7 beats your 6. Flush, flush, flush. Everyone draws a new card. And now 7 is the card to beat. So let's say this player goes, all right, you know what? I like our 7. Let's make it a 14. And this player says, you know what? I also like 7. Let's make it a 21. Now this player is they got nothing they can do really. They've got a 14, a 12, a 20, an 11, 2 3s. So they're just going to, you know what? Get rid of a low card, get rid of their 3s. Comes back to this player's turn. The 21, or the 7's still there, obviously. So this gets pushed in. All of the other ones get pushed in as well. They don't have to draw any replacement cards. And now all 3 of these players are 1 card closer to actually getting rid of their last card. So as I mentioned, play is just going to continue until one person, or sometimes more than one person, gets rid of their cards. They push them in at the same time, and they have no cards left in their hand, and they're the winner of Fuji Flush. So first impressions of Fuji Flush, this game's a lot of fun. This is something that I've played in lower counts and higher counts. I think I prefer it somewhere in the 5-6 range. It plays up to 7 or 8. Now, this has a bit of a team feel to it, because on occasion you're part of a team, right? You play your 2 out, and then someone else says, oh yeah, team 2, and now you're a 4, and someone's like, nope, we're team 6. And so there's a little bit of excitement that builds. Some excitement that you want to expect from this kind of game. It is, in a lot of ways, very chaotic. There's not a lot of strategy, there's not a lot of tactics. You're just kind of playing the best card for the situation, and usually you know what that card's going to be. If you're going to be able to jump in on a same card group that's going to beat something, you're probably going to want to do that. There's an interesting tension sometimes when you could jump in on someone. Let's say that someone has 2 cards left and maybe you have 4 cards left, and they play a 7 and you have a 7, knowing that more than likely you're both going to be able to push in your cards. Well, that's great for you and all, but now they're 1 card closer. They're 1 card away. So sometimes there is that interesting decision of, I could join, but I'm going to choose not to because I don't want to necessarily help this person. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So fun gameplay, lots of excitement. I mean, you're cheering in this game. You're cheering when you're able to join in on the group that turns a 14, a 7-7 into a 21 that beats the 20. That's exciting. It's exciting when, this person's about to go out and they've got a 16 on the table and then someone pulls out the 18 the last minute to save everyone else. Lots of fun. So I'm kind of surprised by this game. And when I say that, I don't know exactly what I mean by that. Because it is Stronghold Games. It is Friedemann Friese. But when I kind of got taught the rules initially and when I kind of looked at the cards, I'm like, oh, is this all there is to it? But it packs a lot of fun. And I think that's the key word here. A lot of fun into this package. So I give Fuji Flush a hearty recommendation. That's my first impression. Definitely go check it out. If you'd be so kind as to subscribe below, you can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. You can subscribe to our Board Game Geek Guild. We're guild number 2008. And as always, we'd love it if you would give us a listen on our weekly board game podcast. All right, well, until next time, this is Sean, and I'll catch you later.